Welcome to the Freelance Unlocked Behind the Scenes series, where I'm showcasing the amazing people who will be at a Freelance Unlocked Conference, the first and the best conference for freelancers that is made with love, and it'll take place in Berlin on May 14th, 15th, 2025. If you are a freelancer in Europe, it's an event made for you to learn, exchange experiences, and build your network of great freelancers and experts who move the freelance economy forward. So go to freelanceunlocked.com and grab your ticket right away. My name is Yuri, I'm a contributor at Freelance Unlocked, and my guest is Bastian Lopez, CEO at CodeControl, advisor at 9am.works, and a host of the Mittelstand Digital podcast. So, hello, Bastian.
That was the most beautiful pronunciation of my podcast I've ever heard, Yuri. I appreciate it. Hi.
Sorry, I'm not German, but that's how it works.
I love it.
Still, tell me, how are you connected with the freelance world?
Yep. Freelancer world is actually one of the most fascinating and most narrowed worlds, I would say, that I've experienced in the last years. Little did I know what I stepped into when I signed up to be the CEO of CodeControl over a year ago. And I have to say, my knowledge about the freelancer economy was existing, but only to a certain degree. And I think what I have seen in the last year, also, through our work at CodeControl, 9am, Freelancer Unlocked, is a wonderful, empowered community of many brilliant people who strive to make their life and the lives of many others better by the tech stacks they bring in and their knowledge into companies. So this is what we do at CodeControl every day: connect the best talents, the best experts in the fields of tech, digital marketing, and design with the companies that have the highest demand for the best people.
Since you jumped in the freelance economy or fully right away, so I'm
Right.
curious. Definitely you learned a lot. And what is your quick take on the freelance economy and how it will develop in the near future?
I think it's a really big question, right? Because every CEO, C-level person that I talk to, also in my podcast Mittelstand Digital, which has the clear goal to talk to decision makers from the German Mittelstand, they are very aware of the benefits of people that come in externally and stay for, whatever, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. And you can see that they know they need external people to thrive their business because they just don't have the people internally. They need a certain tech stack, so they cannot wait another 3 to 6 months to hire somebody. And I would say the awareness is definitely given that people know this is the way we're gonna work in the future. However, because of some setbacks in Germany, if it's political reasons, whether it's false self-employment regulation, or companies often thinking freelancers are too expensive, too inefficient, whatever, there are certain setbacks that we're working on every day to master so that more and more companies just have absolutely no other chance than working with freelancers because this is the way moving forward.
I feel like that's exactly what are all the companies that working with freelancers are doing. They are educating clients on the benefits and how to work in the
Exactly.
right way with freelancers because you still can get so much more in such a small amount of time. And it might be that, oh, I will pay like more money, we'll spend more money, but at the end of the day, you will get the thing done faster and you will save money. So, yeah, anyway.
Exactly.
I feel like it's a topic of a totally different podcast conversation. Still, give me a sneak peek into what you'll be talking about on the Freelance Unlocked stage.
Right. So the topic is parenting for entrepreneurs, which is a really important topic for me as I'm a dad of two. And when I stepped into the role of becoming CEO, I noticed how hard it is to combine everything, right? I'm a working dad, which means I also want to be an active dad. I just do not want to be only available for my kids on the weekend. And I feel like this is a generation that I'm part of that has a really different mindset than maybe many years ago. So what I want to talk about is the challenges that we face both while running a company and being the CEO. Not just the positive sides, but also everything that is connected to it. But I also want to show other companies how you can try to really motivate your employees to combine everything because it shouldn't be either work or family. It should be family and work. And I
Mm.
have a lot of experience in that field. And if you follow my LinkedIn, you will see that it's a very important topic for me. And I'm happy to share some thoughts on the stage.
What were some of the biggest surprise or challenges you faced in balancing parenthood and running a company?
I think the biggest challenges per se is it starts with your mindset because when I stepped up to become CEO, I really thought at the beginning there's no way I can manage both. So this is more like I guess the standards that society has set over the last decades. That especially as a man, it was always okay. Often enough, you're the provider, you're the one that works, you come home, you maybe spend an hour or two with your kids before they go to bed, and then on the weekend, this is all the time you have. And I always thought, okay, I want to work for companies that think this concept differently because of course there are phases in your work where it needs complete focus, but I do not believe that this complete focus is from 9 until 5 p.m. I actually think that employees are better when they can determine their own working hours and know what works best for them. I can give you an example, Yuri. If you tell me right now, you need to, it's maybe 2 p.m. and you want to go to the playground with your kids for an hour or two, I will ask you, why do you even tell me? Just do it. Because I don't think that me as a boss telling you when you should work and when you should spend time with your kids is going to make you anyhow more productive. I think my employees are going to stay long term if they see that I try to combine everything. And I think that I know that how challenging it is to talk to your boss about what you want, also in terms of family in combination with work. I always wanted to be the boss that people trust and that they're happy to share their thoughts, and that's what I'm trying to, share with my team pretty much on a daily basis.
Yeah, I totally get it. I'm currently we're having this conversation, and before the recording, I told that my kid is coming from school, and I may have to open the door. So sometimes even like in the something in the doing task, like kids are coming. Sometimes when you're having conversation on Zoom or anywhere with people, you see cats, dogs, and people are like, oh,
Right.
it's my cat. Oh, but when you like see kids, people like, oh, sorry, 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 it's my kid. Oh, sorry, sorry. Like, why are you being sorry? Like, you are not sorry about cats and dogs, and you are sorry for a kid. Like, it's weird. But
It's very
anyway,
true.
I totally get what you are talking about, and I'm curious. Do you have some strategies or maybe systems that you've created to ensure that both your business and family parts thrives?
I think, first of all, it's all about trust. I have to trust my employees that they act as in the best interest of the company. So this whole thing I just described, you only works if we are very clear from a management perspective on the mission that we are at, especially now at CodeControl. And we cannot live in German, we say from Luft und Liebe, which means from love and air. We need actual revenue, and that only works if the team works very hard. But my understanding of being a boss has always been I want to trust my people because I believe in return I will get the best results. If I would have noticed my trust is being abused or, being taken as granted, I would have a big issue with this. So
Mm,
within the business is really, first of all, trust, and second of all, communication. And that applies both to me as a private person, but also to me as CEO of CodeControl. What I mean by that is there are moments, also for me, Yuri, where everything can get too much. So it might be that I have a few meetings or I need to go to another city for 2 or 3 days. One of the kids is sick. My wife has some other, businesses to take care of. And there are moments where I feel overwhelmed as well. And I think it's absolutely normal to have that. I do not want to romanticize parenting because I think it's the greatest, but also the most challenging job in the world. And I know you agree to me. But I think talking about what keeps you up at night, what is a challenge, is a game changer to you also. Or, I mean, I've been married for a very long time, and this is how I think everything has worked between my wife and myself, is that whenever things occur, also with the kids, instead of just panicking and being angry at each other, we talk to each other. And I think this is the same in business. Just talk to each other and find solutions. And I guess this has always been how I wanted to do my business and also succeed in my private life.
I believe that's something that people are missing out on, having an honest and open conversation without firing, shouting at each other, but just trying to find the ways of how to support each other. And as you say, it's, yeah, work everywhere for business, for
Exactly.
private life. And let's see from the other side. So,
Mm.
how can parents, freelancers, position themselves to attract clients who respect and support their need for flexibility?
I think that first of all, freelancers chose to be in that role for a reason. And often enough, I mean, money is always a trigger, no doubt, but it's also because they want to have flexibility. And I think becoming a freelancer often means that you can work already on your terms because we see a decline in customers requesting freelancers to be on site, right? So you can often enough have a fully remote gig, which means also there will be no boss who will observe you and think, oh, Yuri, are you really working or what are you doing right now? Are you spending time with your kids? So I think when I talk to freelancers, many say they wanted to have a better, I mean, work-life balance is not even a justified term for it because it's so overused nowadays. But I think they became a freelancer because they said, I want to have both sides. I want to be an active parent. I want to be there for my kid, but I also want to do what I love. And that often means you have to become a freelancer. I think, and this is one of my biggest focus topics as, Bastian Lopez, is to show companies that it works to hire people that can put family first and business second, and that doesn't mean that they will have less commitment or thrive to succeed with you in your business. So
Mm.
I think that for freelancers to choose companies like this, of course, there are certain signs you can take care of. You can check their LinkedIn, you can see on Kununu what are their ratings, are they family friendly? I think at the end of the day, nobody will really tell you. Is really you have to be in the company to notice. And the good thing about the freelancer economy, especially here in Germany, is a narrow and a tight world. Which means as a company, if you're not certain, if you're not open to certain ideas, especially combining family and business, freelancers will know eventually. And I have the strong hope, and this is what I want to work on as well, is that companies have absolutely no other ways nowadays than to be open for flexible working models. If it's freelancing per se, or it's the way how freelancers work with a lot of
Yeah.
trust and from anywhere they want. And I think talking about this can make a difference. And that's what I'm trying.
You know, it's interesting. I had some time ago an opportunity. I saw like it was stated freelance contract, and I
Mm,
applied, and they had a conversation, etc. I was like, yeah, I use some time for that. Why not? And then like everything is great, everything is cool, and then they say, um, it's a full time position. I'm like, what do you mean full time? It's like reading freelance. Yeah, it's a full time freelance position. I'm like, what do you mean full time? Like, yeah, we have a lot of calls. You'll have. I'm like, why the hell do you have calls if you need to get things done? Why do you
mhm,
have a lot of calls? If you have a lot of calls, it's not a freelancing position. It looks
right.
like more it's this corporate position where you have to agree with each step that you are doing. But if you are hiring freelancer, you have a task
Mhm,
needs to be done, and you have to trust this person. You have
mhm,
to have this conversation. That's exactly what you are talking about, the trust and flexibility. And it's so weird, but people feel I feel like sometimes companies think that they can hire freelancer, do not pay for their insurance, do not pay for
mhm.
their sick leaves, etc., and then have the same responsibility as a full-time employee. So basically, you kind of save money, but you have
Yeah.
still the same person. But I feel like it's totally different. And what is your take on this difference between freelancer and full-time employee?
I think that it's often based on insecurity and lack of knowledge, right? Because companies know, okay, look, we have some kind of gap in terms of we need to fill the position, but we don't have applicants. So they are open for the idea of hiring freelancers, which I think getting to that point is already a big step, especially for companies in the German Mittelstand. What I talk a lot to CEOs about is they are aware of the situation, but there
Mm.
are some triggers that kept them back. So once they turn into the idea, okay, let's maybe work with freelancers, there are some concepts that are missing. How do I work with them? How is it okay if I trust them? Do I need them to lock their working hours? Do I want them to send a report at the end of the day? And I'm speaking out of my own experience because I've seen all of this. So at CodeControl, we try to educate a lot of customers that are in this kind of transition from no freelancers to let's be open to it. But
Hmm.
instead of doing all of this kind of mistakes that you just talked about, we try to empower them because we have done this the last 8 years. There's so much knowledge. There are more than 300 customers we have helped. We've seen it all. And I salute every company that is ready to commit to freelancers. And I think the next step is to have a setup where the freelancer is most efficient and doesn't turn into what you just described, being a freelancer, but more under the whole perm regulation, because this is not where a freelancer will be most effective and efficient.
Yeah, totally. And if you could give one piece of advice to someone who is just starting as a parentpreneur, what would it be?
I think in my opinion, is really about keep things simple. What I mean by that is parents, we all overthink too much about consequences, about effects that our decisions will have. I think communicating what your wishes and your desires are is really good. But instead of making a huge list of these 10 to 15 things, points need to happen for me to be good in what I'm doing is senseless. I've tried it, I have failed. I think it makes a lot of sense to have a very clear idea of who you want to be as a parent, both, at home, but also in business, but also be open and flexible to what clients are telling you, because for many companies is a new topic how this whole combination working parent freelancing works, and I think you have to adapt to also their ideas. I think it's beautiful that this topic is becoming so important and has received so much air and room, but I think we're not at the final stage yet to say this is how it's all said and this is how it should be done.
Yeah, Bastian, I wish to have the sky as a limit, but time is a limit. So the final question. What would you say to your friend if they asked you whether they should go to the Freelance Unlocked?
My friends don't ask me anymore because they know they have to go, because they know it's the best conference in the world. Last year, when we did it the first time, I've been to many conferences, but that spirit has been fascinating and unique. I mean, we gathered, I don't know how many hundreds of people, so many dozens of speakers, and the one feedback I received from freelancers was this has been the first time I ever felt like at home, because you're in your bubble, everybody has the same challenges, the same situations to deal with. Being in such a safe zone, talking only about this one business that is interesting for you is so unique. So, whether you're a freelancer and you're looking to talk to people, or you're open to the idea of becoming a freelancer, or you just want to know what a cool conference looks in the center of Berlin, there's absolutely no other way than going to the conference.
Got it. And what is the best way to connect with you?
LinkedIn, 100%.
Got it. Got it. Bastian, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom even before the conference. And I can wait to learn even more at the Freelance Unlocked. And
Yes.
yeah, see you very soon in person.
See you soon, Yuri. It was a pleasure. Bye bye.
And for those who listen, I hope you learn from Bastian's experience and say thank you to him in person at the Freelance Unlocked Conference on May 14th, 15th, 2025 in Berlin. So go to the freelanceunlocked.com, grab your ticket, and meet you there.